Right now, we're looking at Teeny, one of the best controlled players in the world's performance in a recent Trio Cash Cup game. By the way, this trio, I think they came second in a Trio Cash Cup, so that's why we're especially looking at this game right now. So today's video is going to be more of a discussion, but also just looking at this game. Maybe if I want to mention a few things about it, but it's about controller players. Whoa, Teeny did just get absolutely lasered, but that was bad time. I believe controller players are going to be dominating in tournaments soon. I think the best trios are going to be the trios with a good controller player. Now, why, you might say? Well, there's many reasons, and I'm going to get into all of them in this video. I mean, it's more for trios. It's more of there is a lot of things controller players bring, but one thing that I would like to actually say is what controller players don't have to do now. In trios, they won't have to be so stuck for getting surge. In duos, one player was just not enough to get the surge for a team. You know, because by the way, guys, just looking at the high level pros. Also, I think in open tournaments, players or controller players will actually do well as well. But let's look at it for like FNCS and big tournaments. Players need to get surge, and in duos, controller teams would always struggle to get surge because it's hard to hit range shots on controller. It's much easier on keyboard, and that is something that really affected controller players. But thankfully, in trios, you can have two keyboard players that have insane aim, and that's what's going to be a big difference for controller players now. Instead of being stuck looking for surge, we can use the strengths that controller player does bring to a team. What may those strengths be? Well, I'm going to get into them right now. The first one, I think, is close range aim. Yes, it is harder to aim for range for controller player and maybe close range, but the best of the best, I think, have really good close range aim. And also, controller players, I believe, they have different type of play style than keyboard and mouse. Sometimes now, these days, it's not as bad as it used to be, like just jump in the box and stuff like that. But I do believe controller players have a different type of mindset than some keyboard and mouse players, and it's more of just get kills, like get in the box and get kills. Now also, it's different. I know that I'm saying a lot right now, and it's because this is such a nuanced topic, but some players like Teeny are actually different when it comes to your average controller player. They don't just jump in the box a lot, and I think that's important too, because controller players, you know, they can't rely on their fast mechanics and be just full piece coursing people. They had to adapt their playstyle. They had to win fights by using their brain a lot more and using smart peeks and the good close range aim, and that's going to become very useful in trios, because three teams just piece coursing isn't going to win in trios, because you have three players. If you do a smart play, it's like if there was a multiplier. You try to do a smart play with duos, it's like chances of that doing good is doubled compared to trios. I believe it's tripled. It's triple as most effective, because let's say it's solos and a smart player does a play against someone with insane mechanics. Even though that player might work to get a bit of damage on a player, that player can then just heal up and use their mechanics to beat you. Compared to in trios, they do a smart play, three people shooting or doing whatever, that's going to kill one player 3 times as quick. And that is what's a big difference. And I believe control players are extremely good at that. I mean, as we can see here, they're already going for play, but now they're rotating because that's the right thing to do. They are looking back to maybe get damage. Teeny actually ready to connect. Really smart, doesn't get caught out there. And this is what one of the best players control players in the world is known for. Teeny. He's known for being extremely smart, and right now this is a really difficult rotate. It's going up extremely high, but Teeny is not struggling with it. What surprised me here is he actually isn't taking the burst. He's leaving a keyboard mouse player take it. But maybe he's not taking it because he didn't want to in the first place, and that is probably a controller player type of thing. Yeah, that's interesting. But let's move on to that. Let's move on to the next thing. Why I think controller players will dominate. So I basically said how their play style I think will benefit trios, because I think the more and more players in the team, the less mechanics help. And I think control players, even though due to unpopular belief, I think control players have over time actually had to be smarter than keyboard and mouse players, because aim assist ain't winning games anymore. And if you're playing controller, you have to be smarter. And actually, I love that about controller. But yeah, that playstyle I think is going to help a lot. And it's very helpful now that the control player doesn't have to be so reliant on search. I think that also gives a control player a specific role. The whole IGL support fragger thing, ever since duos became a thing, that kind of has went away. Now with trios, I think that might become popular again. But what's helpful for a control player is they're never going to be the one reliant on getting surge, so they can be the one who can carry an SMG or a different type of weapon to help in the end game. They don't have to be reliant on assault rifles and stuff like that. Even though they very well might carry them, they can carry the close range weapons that will help them dominate in endgame. Right now, okay, Teeny's going for the high ground. Very well done, making sure he was phased before he was going up. Just a smart play, and this is what we see. Control players doing smart plays. I love it. I'm a control player myself, so I'll see. I like it a lot. Now, I do know one thing about this match, and Teeny does actually die, I think. We'll see if I'm wrong about that, actually. That could have been a different game I got confused with. But anyway. Yeah, so I do think... Oh, one sec. This guy has been spotted by Teeny. Going for the weaker wall of wood. He's smart. Bad reload management, Teeny. Nah, he does get killed though. Nice. Okay. So yeah. I do think the Scar is more helpful in the end game, by the way. Let me just mention this. Than the burst. And that's exactly what Teeny is able to carry, because a burst is 100% the better weapon to carry if you're getting surge. But the two keyboard and mouse players, I think, if I'm looking at it correctly, actually have burst. So this is already coming true, is the controller player doesn't have to worry about surge. It's a big thing, guys. I know I keep mentioning it, it's a big thing. Something too what's interesting is... Oh, there we go, guys. You got the win. Alright. Another thing that's interesting is when getting refreshes, I think a control player is really good, because they'll just focus on hitting their shots. They're not worried about doing the piece control, you know, the pre-edit and putting the pyramid in there. They're going to let the keyboard and mouse players do that, and they're just going to hit their shots, because that's what a controller player is good at doing, close range. And lastly, another thing is IGLs are so important to a good trio. I think controller players have become good IGLs, and that is what's going to make the difference, guys. If you're a good controller player and you're an IGL, you're going to do really, really well. Alright, guys, it was a bit of a rumble, a bit of a rant, but also I think I made some good points. I do believe controller players are going to start dominating again. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and you might enjoy this video as well. Goodbye.